bit of disregard. Handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel. But it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me.
Good morning. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Delvin Brinker.
Really?
Yeah. You put on the screaming music, I gotta scream my name.
Oh, it's just Linkin Park, man. This is the good stuff.
I know. He's the king of scream.
There he was.
He was.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So excited to have you with us this morning because it is a Friday fun day. We are joined by Adam Russell from Opus Bank and CSUSB's Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration's Business Alliance. Good morning.
Good morning. It's Friday. What day is it? The 15th? Yesterday was Flag Day. Father's Day is coming up. This is the weekend I work the hardest. It is.
Wait, what? It's the weekend you work?
Because we host the barbecue, and I've spent the whole week cleaning up stuff, and now Saturday I'll be doing stuff, and Sunday I'm seeing if I can talk myself into 2 hours or 90 minutes of solitude watching Germany and Mexico play at 8 o'clock Sunday morning.
That ought to be a good game.
That ought to be a really good game. So who do you like, Germany or Mexico?
Boy, I'm really torn on this one. I like the Germans. They're disciplined. Mexico, and you've seen it in all the sports magazines. Well, if you can't cheer for the U.S., cheer for the other U.S. The Mexican team is... we're neighbors. They're scrappy. Germans are disciplined.
Mexicans are passionate. Germans are disciplined.
Yeah. It's interesting. I should have thought of doing something about the economics of the World Cup.
Right.
There's a class at the Claremont Colleges. The guy teaches that, the economics of the World Cup. I should look into that. Maybe
I know that FIFA makes a lot of money.
Well,
more ways than one.
Well, and the host countries do too, because all those people that travel to see these games, right? I mean, you get a lot of tourism dollars.
And then we get them in 2026.
Yeah.
So that's only 8 years away. Is that it? Yeah, 8 years away. And so all the folks in the States that ever wanted to go to a World Cup game, that is your chance in 8 years.
Well, I think that you're going to see it. Well, perhaps I'm wrong, but the areas that have the largest Latino population, you're probably going to see the most engagement. So Los Angeles and Miami and New York and Texas, they're going to lose their minds.
Well, I'm sure there'll be something up in Seattle as well. Seattle's a big soccer town.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. They really sell out the Seattle Sounders, I think it is, the MLS team. They sell out a lot. Of course, the stadiums soccer stadiums are smaller, but I imagine for these games you'll have the Rose Bowl, Coliseum, that sort of thing.
Well, and you'll have the new stadium. Isn't there a new stadium being built in Los Angeles?
Well, you have the Coliseum being revamped.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, the whole press box side is being torn up. I think the field is being raised up. And it's really, you go online, take a look at the construction progress. Fascinating stuff. So the World Cup going on right now.
So, what is new and exciting in the economy right now?
New and exciting is that this is it's humming along nicely. It's on track for the best GDP growth since 2015. The unemployment rate is at its lowest level since 2000. So the question that's coming up in everybody's conversation is, how long is this going to last?
Yeah, because it can't go on forever.
No, it can't. Nothing wrong with it going on forever, but nothing lasts forever.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong, but
Yeah. At 9 years and counting, it's the second longest stretch without a recession in modern times, still short of the 10-year expansion of the roaring 1990s. But we will surpass that this year, barring any sort of sudden catastrophe like war, natural disaster, terrorism, or something.
Or a tweet.
Or tweet. But I think the markets have kind of taken those into account. They're built in. Okay, well, we're going to stop listening to that too. Just like when they first started having terrorism events, that really rocked the market every time there was an explosion, and now, unfortunately, it's just kind of, it's another day.
Yeah.
There's an explosion in France. What do you call that? Oh, Friday. Okay. It's just, it's unfortunate. But they're thinking it's going to last another couple of years, probably 2020 or 2021 when the next recession is coming in.
Well, and do you think rising interest rates keeps that at bay? Because, you know, it makes it a little bit more expensive to borrow, makes it a little bit more, you know, people might be a little bit more circumspect about spending their money, and more motivated to save their money, so that perhaps that rising interest rates helps calm the economy a little bit.
So what you have is today there's a really tight job market. I think one of the things that came out this week is that there are more jobs available than there are people looking for jobs. So you have a surplus of jobs. And so a few years down the line, labor's scarce, pay is perking up. It's good for workers and also good for consumer spending, but big wage gains spur higher prices of everything else, to your point of inflation. So rising inflation will put the Federal Reserve, they'll put them in kind of a bind. The Fed plans to keep raising interest rates, 2 more quarter-point hikes this year, so another 0.5% this year and 3 in 2019. I mean, that's what they're looking to do. And that's going to increase their interest costs. But as rising wages start to push prices higher, they'll be under increasing pressure to jack up interest rates faster to slow things down. But then if you slow things down too much,
you cool the economy.
Yeah. So it's really it's a little dance. And, you know, it's going to happen. But, you know, the good news is that you know, the next recession should be fairly mild. And I've said this before on this show, is the whether it was planned or by luck or skill, over the last 9 years, we've had maybe 14 to 16% growth, whereas previous 10-year spreads have been 35, 40%.
Yeah.
So it's, and you see now everything is chugging along rather nicely. The freeways are crowded. The restaurants are crowded.
It's true.
Everybody's got an iWatch. At least the crowd I'm kind of hanging out with. Oh,
I have a Sunto.
Okay. Oh, and you look at that. And it shows a little red heart.
It does.
Okay, does that mean it's beating, or does that mean that you're loved?
Both.
Oh, look at that. Because he's a teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, last day of school yesterday for my daughter. She was really sad.
I get sad at the end of the year too, because you connect with these kids.
Yeah.
You do, and you know, especially when you're teaching the younger ages, you want to know what happens next, right? And so you built this connection, and you don't want to just sort of let them go and not. You want to know. Yeah. And so it's hard.
So what do you think of teachers sticking with the same cohort for like 4 or 5 years?
I kind of like that idea, but
who does that? Does anybody do that?
I did it early in my career. I actually had kids for 7th grade and 8th grade. I'd have them 2 years in a row.
Wow.
And those 2 years were really good years because I could build on what I had done. I knew exactly what they had learned the previous year.
Yeah.
But it also was challenging because the kids that were discipline problems, the kids that were problematic, you couldn't.
Those didn't go away.
They didn't go away. And so, you know, and they kind of knew who you were and knew how to push your buttons. And so, you know, you really had. There were some challenges.
7th and 8th graders pushing buttons. Go figure.
There were some challenges. So I liked it and I didn't like it. I mean, I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to do that. And I only did it for 2 years in a row. If you had them for multiple years beyond.
Yeah, because they do that with club teams, whether it's soccer, volleyball. You know, you start with a coach at U10, and a team, if it stays together, goes with that coach to U15, U16, U17.
So it works out really well for the kids who are able to have a good relationship with that teacher.
Yeah.
But not every teacher and every student will click. And I say this because there was a teacher that both of our children had in the 5th grade. And she and our son it was like oil and water. Those two did not get along. And our son's an exceptional student, but my daughter loved her and thrived in her class. And so, you know, there's different.
Who was older, the son or the daughter?
The son.
Okay, so you must have had some hesitation when she got into her class.
We did.
We did, but then, like I said, it was like night and day, and that was a real eye opener for us as parents. And you know, it's funny because I knew it as from the teacher side, right? I knew that there were kids that didn't click with me sometimes. And you just kind of have to do the best to figure it out. But to see it with your kid and to see how different teachers interact with kids, I'm a big fan of having some sort of parental choice. If your kid's not clicking with a teacher, you should be able to have that conversation. It shouldn't be a personal thing.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, you know, I think my kid would be better in a different situation. Yeah. Can we fix it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're taking our business out to bid. We're looking at 5 banks. You're one of them, and if we don't pick you, oh well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, you don't like me.
Yeah. But the school system's very rigid. They don't make that easy.
On that happy note, we're going to take a break.
I was crying. It wasn't a happy note.
It was called irony.
Irony. F-E, that iron.
Exactly. So I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we're talking with Adam Russell from Opus Bank and from CSUSB's Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration. We'll be right back. Are you or a loved one suffering from an addiction? If so, help is available. Many people are getting help from a recovery center called Sheer Recovery. You can call Sheer Recovery now at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. The website is www.sheer, that's SHEER, recovery.com. If you have insurance, your treatment may be covered at little to no cost. Most importantly, you can't lose your job because you decide to get help. Sheer Recovery is staffed with professionals who understand addictions and how to treat addictions. They understand what an addicted person goes through every day. So if you or a loved one are suffering from an addiction, it's time to call Sheer Recovery at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. A better life begins with Sheer Recovery. Call 888-743-3751 or go online at www.sheerrecovery.com.
If you're suffering from aches and pains, it's time to try Arbo Vitae Health and Wellness Dietary Supplement. Arbo Vitae contains pycnogenol, the most powerful, natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant available, which is nature's way to support the immune system. Let Arbo Vitae help your body restore itself today. To order Arbo Vitae online, go to ARBORVITAEUS.com. To order by phone, call 800-570-0433. That number again, 800-570-0433. Arbo Vitae is proud to sponsor Fish Talk Radio. Check out the show on Facebook or visit the Fish Talk website at fishtalkradio.com. The first caller will receive a 30-day supply of Arbo Vitae with no obligation, so call now, 800-570-0433.
Need more restful nights? Manage an overactive mind and promote deep sleep with Quantum Nutrition Lab's Melatonin PG and Quantum Sleep. Buy 2, get the third one free. Call 888-588-7578 or visit us online at qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here with some important information about debt, your debt. Whether you have a first or second mortgage, you're looking to buy or refi a home or rental property, or just need to consolidate your credit cards to lower your payments and save some serious interest, you need to do some loan financial planning with Steve Alladort, my mortgage man, at loanfinancialplanner.com. Now, Steve's not your garden variety mortgage broker. He actually spends time evaluating how you can use the current super competitive interest rates to pay off your mortgage early, purchase a rental property, improve your cash flow, upgrade to your dream home, or even help your kids or grandkids get into a house. That's what loan financial planning is all about. Steve's been helping me and my listeners for over 2 decades, and I can tell you he is the best finance guy in the business. Go to loanfinancialplanner.com, that's loanfinancialplanner.com, or call Steve Alladort at 888-563-1070, that's 888-563-1070.
Hi, I'm Phil Grady of philsgang.com. We have a 16% return since the first of the year on my video stock group. Those are stocks that I select. I put out a video 3 times a day. You just follow my instructions on those particular stocks. This is for people who just don't have time to learn. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and use the video stock group.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Here's Replete Vegan Skincare founder Elizabeth Thoreau.
Investing in your beauty is investing in quality of your life. The secret is in Replete Spring Serum Complex. It puts elasticity back in your jawline contour for completely remodeling the effects of winter. It improves firmness. It gets rid of sagging and wrinkles. And it puts the smoothness, radiance, and freshness you want in a spring day.
RepleteSkincare.com for your skin to look and feel its best.
KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So we continue our conversation with Adam Russell from Opus Bank and CSUSB's Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration. And he's got something to talk about lemonade.
Well, lemonade. So we have lemonade stands. It's summertime. And lemonade stands I see pop up in our neighborhood from time to time. And you've heard stories where cities, municipalities crack down on lemonade stands. I mean, they really do. They come, hey, you don't have a license, you got to get a permit and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for kids selling lemonade in their own front yard.
Lemonade. Well, I was in the paper. There was an article by Susan Shelley, like her column, where she talked about Country Time. Is saying, you know what? If you're under the age of 14 and you get busted for having a lemonade stand, we will pay up to $300 of your fine.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
So they want those kids to go out there and be entrepreneurs.
Well, that's exactly it. You know, and Kraft Heinz, the owner of Country Time Lemonade, they aren't offering actual legal advice or services, but they're paying for the fine. And the beauty about the ad is, like, you know what, they're really promoting capitalism.
Indeed.
And capitalism is capitalism taught in your school?
It is.
Oh, good.
It is, yeah. And I'm actually one of the people who teaches it, so I know it gets taught.
So capitalism creates wealth through voluntary agreements made to mutual benefit. It's the economic system of a free country. So Kraft Heinz earns a profit by selling lemonade mixed to wholesalers, who earn a profit by selling the product to retailers, who earn a profit by selling it to consumers. Lemonade stand operators earn a profit by selling cups of cold lemonade to people who are happy to buy them. There's no force, no coercion, no mandates, no penalties. And that's really the key thing about capitalism. No one's forced to do anything. And that's why monopolies aren't good, because then you are forced to buy that product at a certain price.
So let's talk about a subsidiary issue with this, because I love the lemonade stand, right? But when I was on the city council, we had a bunch of people that were selling oranges and flowers and all kinds of stuff on the street corners at the freeway off ramps. You know, the economy was not doing so well back in 2008, 2009, and people were hustling to make a little extra money.
Yes,
I remember one time when I was out walking one of the neighborhoods during a campaign, and there was a guy who had created a little taco stand in his driveway, and he had a little grill out there, and he was making tacos.
Wow, were they good?
And I did not purchase one.
Okay.
They smelled really good.
Yeah.
But so we see these kinds of entrepreneurial endeavors, but the city.
Where do you draw the line?
And the city attorney at that time was Jim Pinman, and he sent out his investigators on the weekends to go and cite these people, right? And they were given what they called an administrative civil penalty, and cited for not having their proper permits and whatever. And of course, his argument was the folks selling flowers were cutting into the sales of the legit florists in our city, and the people that were selling the oranges and whatnot were cutting into the profits of the grocery stores that sell their oranges and so forth. And so he says, this is an unfair competition. These people aren't aren't going through the same processes. And so what are your thoughts?
Well, those are very good points. And I see a lot of it when I go down to the football games at SC. You see these carts all over the place with these hot dogs wrapped in bacon.
Love them.
Oh.
Okay. You smell them coming from a mile away. I think, and the city of LA has tried to, what they do is, okay, now it's a $750 fee to have a cart. So, and it's fine with the government as long as they get a piece of the action.
Yeah.
Okay, and that to me, it's when they want to do that, to me, it's more of a money grab. If someone sets up a permanent stand on the corner of Town and Foothill, then I think that's a problem. I think if you have someone that's setting up maybe a weekend thing or a lemonade stand that is typically definitely neighborhood in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the point of the country time thing is that the applicant to get the $300, you have to be 14 years of age or younger.
Yeah.
So I think, though, in the defense of what the government's trying to prevent is an outbreak of some sort of illness. So,
right.
If somebody who's making that lemonade has, didn't wash their hands, or, that's the kind of thing, you don't want a hepatitis A breakout or something, salmonella or something else like that. So, that's why the health department gets involved.
I don't deny that, but at the same time, what you have is people, you're buying lemonade off a lemonade stand, you're taking risks. You're buying fruit off a fruit stand, you're taking risks. I think the risks are pretty implied. If not, you should know that there are risks there. So is it acceptable to take those risks? And that's where...
That's the question.
Kind of, is it a buyer beware, or should the government protect me?
We've turned into a society where nobody takes responsibility for their own actions, right? So, you go out and do something stupid, then you sue the person that allowed you to do something stupid, and that's actually happened with the girl in San Diego who did a protest and ran out on the freeway in the middle of the night, and she was hit by a car. She was protesting from UC San Diego.
They were going to block the freeway.
Yes, blocking the freeway, and she's suing UC San Diego because they didn't keep her from the freeway. I'm not making this up.
I don't know what you say to that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she can sue. Will she get something from the aspect of the insurance companies? Probably say, okay, let's come to the table. We don't want her to go to court because it's just cost $500,000 to go to court.
But somebody needs to look at this young woman and say, didn't your mama tell you not to play on the freeway?
And that's where, years and years ago, Snow Summit was a company we were looking at on doing financing for, and they were adamant. And any time someone tried to sue them, they fought it tooth and nail, and they got a reputation. Hey, you fall down on our slope, you're bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a dangerous sport.
You're going to fall. You're going to break a leg. You're going to hurt yourself. You may even kill yourself. But it is not our fault. We're providing the venue.
Yeah.
You're taking the risk, and that's why they would fight it. They would never, ever settle.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. That seems like unless there was something grossly negligent that one of their employees did, that seems like the right way to do it. Otherwise, it's like extortion. It's like paying the mob over and over again.
Well, yeah, but you could argue the same thing for.
So I wish, and just going back to our lemonade story, I wish that we had an exemption for these kinds of laws for kids.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I remember as a kid doing a whole bunch of sort of capitalistic ventures. I remember loading up my wagon with car cleaning stuff and going around the neighborhood and offering to wash cars. $5 a car.
Yep.
And I brought my soap and my towels and all my stuff with me. And I got folks that would pay me to do that.
Well, sure.
And then I'd say, hey, would you like me to come back next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not, the government doesn't get as involved in that. Like if you're a little kid with a wagon, do you think they'd stop you?
No, but my point
that's
is
the whole point of the
stands.
lemonade stand is you have kids, you have, let's see.
But that's food.
Okay, but where does it stop?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm playing a devil's advocate because, washing somebody's car doesn't put somebody at risk of hepatitis A. I'm sorry?
He could scratch the car.
He could scratch the car.
So, man, you have to have insurance. If you're going out, you need to have insurance.
Right.
And who's going to give it? Who's going to give a 10-year-old insurance?
And what if the guy refuses to pay after I've done the work and I have to send my guys?
That's right. Yes, they send Tommy and Johnny. Hey, man, we are going to egg your house.
That's right. Pete his
on a
house.
hot day.
But that's what it is. That is you. If you don't get paid, you learn. You know what? I'm not washing his car ever again.
Yeah.
And if he does want me to wash the car, it's cash up front.
Yeah.
Or you do it the old-fashioned way. You egg the house.
Yeah. Or let the air out of the tires. That's
Or
where
let
I
the
was.
air out of
That's
the
where
tires.
that's where my brain went. It's like, okay.
And that's kind of the way it used to be. And now it's like, oh, well, I can sue. Okay, you can. And you take up everybody's time. And it costs a lot of money on both sides.
So I'm picturing, have you seen the movie Better Off Dead?
Yes.
No.
It's a great movie from the 80s. John Cusack is in it, and they're not paying the paper boy, and this paper boy throughout the movie follows him around. I want my $2. It's just hysterical.
And the best scene, because you mentioned skiing a minute ago, was that the paper boy is at the top of the mountain as he's getting ready to go down to go skiing, and he's on a bike, and it's got little skids on it, and he's skiing on the bike down the mountain, chasing him. $2.
Anyway, it's cute. It's a funny movie.
It is hilarious. You can't get away from the paper boy.
There you go. So my hat's off to Country Time and Kraft for supporting young venture capitalism and paying up to $300 for the fines. There's rules and regulations, that's right, but it's really not that long. It's 3 pages of rules and regulations off their website.
Wow.
Just send in a picture, and you have to write a little essay on, what you're doing and why you should, what you're trying to do, and what the lemonade stand means to him or her in his or her own words. So.
Wow.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Feel good story for the day.
Yeah. Are you a supporter of junior achievement? Does that exist out here anymore?
It does. Yeah, it does. It's a big banks get involved with that because it's an education thing. Helps count for CRA credits. The feds are kind of wise to that because banks have been using that for so long now. They're saying, yeah, that's not really supporting the community. It is, but it isn't. They want the banks now doing more things.
They want money.
Yeah, well. Let's not get started. But junior achievement, great thing to do. The bank does participate. I don't think there isn't a bank that doesn't, frankly, because that's where it all starts.
Exactly. I'm a big supporter. My brother did it in high school and middle school. I think we had it in middle school.
Okay.
And he's been entrepreneurial through and through. So
he's the insurance guy.
He's the insurance guy.
That's
exactly.
Right. He's insuring against stuff like this.
I wonder if he offers lemonade stand insurance.
Nobody offers cyber insurance. I'll tell you that.
Indeed. So, tell people how they can get a hold of you, follow
on
you,
LinkedIn.
etc.
Go on LinkedIn. Look me up, Adam Russell with Opus Bank on LinkedIn, and people do that. Or you go to Opus Bank website, and there's a thing on there, contact a banker, and every once in a while my face shows up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Russell, it's always a treat to have you on the air.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to the next school year and the CSUSB's Jack Brown School of Business and Public Administration.
We are too. Got to find out what they want to do.
Exactly. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we will be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. The White House says a government watchdog report reaffirms President Trump's suspicions about the conduct of former FBI Director James Comey and some members of the FBI. The report by the Justice Department's Inspector General is highly critical of the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
This morning, the president tweeted that the IG report is a total disaster for Comey, his minions, and sadly the FBI.
NBC's Craig Melvin says overall, the IG concluded that Comey and the FBI had no political motive to help either candidate win the presidential race. Meanwhile, President Trump is going ahead with $50 billion in tariffs on Chinese imports. CNN reports Trump gave the green light after meeting yesterday with top economic officials. China has said it would retaliate with counter tariffs. 6 people are in the hospital after a roller coaster car derailed in Daytona Beach, Florida yesterday. Officials say 2 people were thrown more than 30 feet to the ground. Lisa Carter, NBC News Radio.
It's time for traffic on KCAA. I'm Erin Brinker. In Loma Linda on the 10 westbound at Anderson-Tippecanoe, there's a SIG alert. A serious wreck has the 3 right lanes blocked. Stop-and-go traffic is backed up to Tennessee Street. In Eastvale on the 15 southbound after Limonite, a disabled big rig is blocking the right lane. And in Grand Terrace on the 215 northbound after La Cadena Drive, an accident has been cleared. Slow traffic is backed up from Columbia. In Moreno Valley, the 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. This has been your traffic report on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Alvin Washington. Mostly sunny, warm, and windy today, a high of 88. Clear, mild, windy tonight, low 58. Patchy fog starts your Saturday, then sunny and windy, a high of 78. Patchy drizzle late Saturday night, a quick increase in clouds, a low of 57. I'm Alvin Washington, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA. 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and the Legacy 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
Are you or a loved one suffering from an addiction? If so, help is available. Many people are getting help from a recovery center called Sheer Recovery. You can call Sheer Recovery now at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. The website is www.sheer, that's SHEER, recovery.com. If you have insurance, your treatment may be covered at little to no cost. Most importantly, you can't lose your job because you decide to get help. Sheer Recovery is staffed with professionals who understand addictions and how to treat addictions. They understand what an addicted person goes through every day. So if you or a loved one are suffering from an addiction, it's time to call Sheer Recovery at 888-SHEER-51. That's 888-743-3751. A better life begins with Sheer Recovery. Call 888-743-3751 or go online at www.sheerrecovery.com.
If you or a loved one was seriously injured in an accident with a semi-truck or an 18-wheeler truck, you need to act fast. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454. Truck accident cases are different than an auto versus auto accident. There are so many more issues involved when dealing with a truck accident case. There are federal regulations and state regulations, several different companies that may be involved. I can immediately gather the evidence, get you the medical care you need with no deductible and no copay to you, and get you the compensation and the money you deserve for your injuries. And if there's no recovery, there's no fees charged to you. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454.
Broadcasting more local radio programs than any other station in California. We are KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Baker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Always love having Adam Russell on the air with us, and that interesting discussion about the lemonade stand. And
Yes.
Little kids trying to make some money, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to apologize to our listeners if my volume has been coming in and out. Apparently I have an issue with how close I speak to the microphone, and so I'm going to try to do better so that you can all hear me, and I won't yell, I promise. But I will be heard.
You will be heard. So a major university wants to wipe out the SATs, and I think this is a beautiful thing. I believe that the SATs are a SCAM.
Scam?
A scam. They make the College Board so much money, which
Yeah,
is
they
fine.
do.
Capitalism's a good thing, but I don't think that they're indicative of your ability to perform in a university setting.
Yeah, that's the key thing, right? I mean, there's been a lot of studies now that show that the kids who do well on the SATs don't necessarily do so well in college.
Well, it could be just that they're good at taking tests. There are a lot of kids and a lot of adults. I'm one of them. I don't test well because I get a tremendous test anxiety. But if you ask me to tell you everything I know about whatever subject I'm being tested on, I can tell you. I'll write it all out for you.
Well, and the other thing about this is that there is a, how to call this, a financial bias to the test. If you've got money to pay for one of those expensive classes to prepare you, you will do quite well on the test because those classes are really good at training people to take the test and do well. And so, but if you're a poor person and you can't afford to take the class or to buy all the study guides and the books and all the stuff, then guess what? You're probably not going to do as well, and your opportunities are going to be more limited. So yeah, I have a problem with it. I say bye-bye.
So
bye-bye.
The university that's choosing to back away is no slouch school. It's the University of Chicago. It's becoming the first major U.S. research university to stop requiring American undergraduate applicants to submit ACT or SAT scores. The decision that the school officials say is designed to help even the playing field for students from low-income or underrepresented communities has been made by some liberal arts colleges, but the University of Chicago is the first major research university to do so. The university also said Thursday that it will provide full tuition aid for students whose families earn less than $125,000 a year and offer new scholarships to military veterans and children of veterans, police officers, and firefighters. The school will also let applicants submit a video introduction instead of requiring that they sit for an interview. So that reminds me of Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. She's sitting in the pool, and anyway, that's hysterical. Okay. Per CBS Chicago, the school also intends to offer mentorship programs to students from underrepresented communities. The U Chicago Empower Initiative levels the playing field, allowing first-generation and low-income students to use technology and other resources to present themselves as well as any other college applicant. We want students to understand the application does not define you. You define the application. James Nondorf, who's vice president and dean of admissions at the university, said in a statement about the decision on Thursday. The university said rollout of the initiative will begin with the class of 2023.
So I know why admissions people like those tests.
Oh, they make it easy.
Yeah, it does, because it becomes the quick and easy screening tool. You just draw a line, you say you have to have at least this level of score. Anything below that, we won't even look at your application. So you have a whole bunch of people who are just automatically weeded out, and they get so many applications that it just makes their job a lot easier to be able to just cut a whole bunch right off the bat just based off a test score.
Because it's one of those schools where everybody who gets in is awesome.
Exactly.
And a good chunk of the kids who don't get in are awesome.
Yes. Yes. And so, by getting rid of it, though, it just means now there's going to be, they're going to have to do a little more work in the actual screening process for how do you determine who gets in and who doesn't, right? And I think that's probably a good thing. So yay, University of Chicago.
Yeah. It's a tough school. It's a very, very rigorous school. And I hope that they're pulling, from Chicago neighborhoods as well. Talking about people that are underrepresented. Chicago is a bit of a war zone, and kids growing up in really difficult conditions in some of those neighborhoods. And so it's I hope that they're really doing outreach to their own community. And I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I think so too. Who wouldn't, right? I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
So speaking of young people, Millie Bobby Brown. Do you know who Millie Bobby Brown is?
I do not know who Millie Bobby Brown is.
She is she's 11 in Stranger Things.
Oh yes, I love that show. Yes, I know she is.
So she's taken on the Demogorgon, but Twitter trolls may have been too much. Variety is reporting that Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11 on the Netflix series Stranger Things, has either deactivated or deleted her @MillieB.Brown Twitter account, and it may be linked to a proliferation of memes painting the 14-year-old actress as being anti-gay. Again, this kid, she's 14.
Yeah.
I get that she's a celebrity, but she's 14. Twitter users have been taking advantage of meme generators to take selfies and other pictures of Brown and include homophobic slurs alongside of them, making it appear if she's anti-gay. The Wrap notes that Take Down Millie Bobby Brown hashtag also started making the rounds late last year and came back in full force at the beginning of June, which is Pride Month. But there are some who say the meme started as an inside joke within the LGBT community. The joke here seems to be that it's so wildly out of character and unbelievable for her to act violently or intolerantly that presenting her as such makes people laugh. In reality, she's been a vocal advocate for gay rights and has also stood up against cyberbullying. She's not the first female actress to defect from social media. Leslie Jones, Daisy Ridley, and most recently, Kelly Marie Tran of Star Wars have all left due to various forms of online harassment. And, it's bad enough when an adult gets harassed, but a 14-year-old girl is nothing but a giant open emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're raw nerves at 14. And I'm sure boys are that way too.
Yep.
Everything is felt so intensely. So this must have been, I hope her handlers did not let her near, or are not letting her near what some of these people are saying, because it could really do some damage to her.
Yeah, and I don't have the level of stardom of someone like this, right? She's on a TV show. But just in the small circle of people that I know online, I see it, So she's probably got large numbers of followers and whatever. But even in a small pool, you see this kind of mean behavior from people.
Yes.
Where they're completely desensitized and they feel like it's okay to call people names, to harass them, to So instead of just making a single comment, that you suddenly get hundreds of comments from the same person or people just bashing you over and over again. You can't get away from it.
No.
Right? And I've watched it happen over and over again. And again, I have a small circle. So imagine now you've got thousands of followers and it just magnifies and magnifies. I totally understand why she took herself out of that environment. Right?
Yes.
I don't want to be a part of that.
And yes, one of the reasons why Jimmy Kimmel started his mean tweets, and I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Kimmel, I used to be, but I'm not anymore. But it's because there are real people on the on the receiving end of some of the nastiness that goes around. And, it's, in this case, it really hit me because, I remember what it's like to be a 14-year-old girl. I mean, everything is cataclysmic in your emotions. I mean, you may not act out cataclysmically, but you certainly feel it that way.
Yeah.
She's 14, folks. Gosh, don't be a jerk. I mean, that has got to be the slogan for 2018, 2019 is don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
So with that, let's take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
Introducing Simply Light. Can you hear that? That's the sweet sound of less sugar and fewer calories. We want to make sure you hear it's less sugar and fewer calories because it tastes so good.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Karen Hopkin. Need a quick breath check before your big meeting or your big date? Well, scientists from South Korea may be able to help. They've engineered a portable device that detects even the tiniest trace of hydrogen sulfide, the stuff that smells like rotten eggs, and is one of the primary offenders in oral obnoxiousness. Their work appears in the journal Analytical Chemistry. Bad breath, aka halitosis, can be more than a social inconvenience. A skunky mouth also may point to some serious underlying medical or dental issues.
Early diagnosis is very significant to prolong your healthy life.
Juni Cha of the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. He says that most of the instruments used for diagnostics are found in clinics or hospitals, which may be tough to get to. And the electronic sensors that are currently used to sniff out various gases require a power source and precise calibration. Not easy when you're out and about.
So, we came up with a strategy to develop colorimetric gas sensors, which changes color when detecting biomarker gases.
Think of it as a litmus test for your exhalation. To build their sensor, the researchers took lead acetate, a chemical used in some hair dye products that turns brown when exposed to hydrogen sulfide. And they embedded it in a three-dimensional nanofiber web, so the dye would spread out across a large surface area. That distribution gives the sensor the sensitivity it needs to detect trace amounts of H2S. To test the device, the researchers puffed it with different concentrations of hydrogen sulfide gas. And they found that as little as 400 parts per billion of H2S produced a color change that could be seen by the naked eye, which is about a fifth as much H2S as you'd need to have stank breath. They even used the device with real human outgassing. The researchers had volunteers blow into a bag, and they spiked these exhalates with 1,000 parts per billion H2S. Again, the bad breathalyzer worked like a charm.
This sensor showed high potential for simple halitosis diagnosis with your breath, anytime, anywhere, in a very short time.
The team is now working on similar diagnostic sensors for other vaporous effluvium. It may not sound pretty, but hey, it's a gas. Thanks for listening. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Karen Hopkin.
What if I told you you'd never have to make a house payment again? What if you could pay off much-needed home repairs and even create an income stream based on the value of your home? If you're 62 years old or older, you could be eligible for a reverse mortgage. Call Tim Harrison and find out if a reverse mortgage is right for you. Call Tim at 800-566-2475. That's 800-566-2475. Tim Harrison, branch manager, NMLS number 170960. Broadview Mortgage Corporation is licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 170952. Registered with the Nationwide Mortgage Licensing System and registry number 813B544. Broadview Mortgage, equal housing lender. Remember, if you never want to make a house payment again, except for property taxes, maintenance, and insurance, that's 800-566-2475. That's 800-566-2475.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So it looks like the New York Attorney General is going after the Trump Foundation.
Yeah, and I think this is actually going to be a big story, but we've already seen the pushback from President Trump, right? He's already tweeting about it. But I think there's a lot of meat to this story.
Yes, but so you're going to hear two different stories depending on who you're talking to and their bent. Because if you're listening to Fox News, you're going to hear about how it's probably a malicious prosecution and that it's, they didn't go after the Clinton Foundation and they're doing all kinds of nefarious things. If you're listening to MSNBC or CNN, there's going to be no mention of any others, and it's going to be listing all the things that Trump did. Now, I think my guess is that Trump was doing things the Trump Foundation was doing things they shouldn't have been doing, and that the Clinton Foundation was doing things they shouldn't have been doing.
Yes.
And so, that I think that the Attorney General is, of course, Clinton Foundation's been shut down, but or at least their World Fund has been shut down. I think both of them deserve to be slapped.
I agree. And you're someone who works in the nonprofit sector. And while there are certainly a lot of really good and noble nonprofits out there, there are people who get into the nonprofit sector that use it as a tool for nefarious purposes.
Absolutely.
It's a way to just sort of
shelter their money.
Yes. Yeah. And it looks like that's kind of what's going on from the Trump side here. Now, the New York Attorney General, and I'm just looking for her name here, Barbara Underwood, thank you. She is after him, and she says that she wants to shut down the 31-year-old foundation. She wants to bar Donald Trump from leading another New York charity for 10 years, and she wants to bar his children from serving on any nonprofit boards for a year.
That's a little vindictive.
And she's demanding that Donald Trump pay $2.8 million in penalties and restitution, and that the foundation's $1 million in assets be doled out to other charities. So all of that seems like that's overreach, in my opinion.
Yeah, so to me, the first thought of that, the thought there for me is she's highly partisan, and she wants to get Donald Trump, and she's found a way that she thinks she can get him.
Yeah. Now, I think she's going to be able to show in court a lot of shady stuff that went on. And so I think that she'll probably win the case. Do I think she's going to get all the stuff she's asking for? No. But I think she's asking for a lot of big stuff because then she can get some other stuff.
So let me ask you this, though, because one of the things that they say that when there was the political debate that Trump didn't partake in because he didn't like Megyn Kelly, and they did a fundraiser for veterans instead.
Yeah.
And then that the money from the fundraiser then went to veterans groups, but it went to veterans groups through Trump's foundation. A lot of wealthy people make donations through their foundations, and so you could be QT Moneybags who lives in the house on the hill, but the money that you donate comes from the QT Moneybags Family Foundation, or it comes through the donor directed fund at the local community foundation.
Yeah.
That's a pretty normal practice.
It is. But one of the examples they give in this brief article is that Trump got fined for some violations at the Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, and he was ordered to pay $100,000 to a charity. Well, he used his own charity to pay that money. It didn't come from, so he basically transferred money from his charity to a charity.
But can he prove that the donation to his charity came from him? So it's fine for you to give to your own charity as a directed donation to somebody else. You can do that.
Yeah, but I believe that the point of the lawsuit was that the money was meant to come from the business as a penalty for the business for the things that the business had done, right? And so I think that in terms of the technical aspect of what the law was requiring him to do, he made a donation, but he didn't do it. It wasn't the penalty. Does that make sense?
It does, and I don't know. I don't know the law there well enough to say that whether that's true or not. Clearly, the AG in the state of New York thinks that she agrees with you.
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney I'm not in New York or Florida, or anywhere else.
One of the fascinating things from this is that the New York Attorney General Underwood has sent all of this on to the IRS and the FEC, which are branches of under the executive branch of the president, right?
Yes.
So basically, parts of our federal government are going to be investigating the president. We've already got the Justice Department doing that through the Mueller investigation, and it'll be very interesting to see if these other entities now look at this and say if there's enough there and actually have to investigate. And
I have to say I'm sick of this, and I think the American public's capacity to, at this point, they go after him for everything. Right?
Yeah.
And so, and you see people, the Clinton Foundation, where it looks like there was pay to play going on. You donate a big amount of money to their World Fund, and you get FaceTime in the State Department. That's what, and nobody went after her at all ever for that. And so your average American person's going, just stop with Donald Trump, because all you're doing is going after him. And at this point, it just looks malicious.
Wow. See, and I don't view it that way. I think that, I believe that they're all corrupt. Hillary was corrupt. Trump was corrupt. I wouldn't vote for either one of them.
We didn't vote for either one of them.
And so I believe that, Trump is used as a political slogan, this idea of draining the swamp. Well, guess what? He's part of the swamp.
They all are, Tobin.
They all are.
But I think that this selective prosecution, of the people I politically disagree with versus the people I don't politically disagree with, or the people that I politically agree with, that's what I'm talking about.
But it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, but it never starts on the other side, Tobin.
It has to start somewhere. We need a precedent that says, yes, you can go after these people, and let's get them out, and then let's make it so that none of them ever do this stuff again.
So it's time. We're at the end of our show for tonight. This was a good discussion. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm really angry.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. Have a great weekend, everyone.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC. The trade war no longer on hold. The White House hit China with a 25% tariff today on $50 billion of goods. China promised to retaliate. Wall Street's not happy. Dow futures down 180 points. Done deal. AT&T, Time Warner, now one company. Look for gains.